In this video, I'll be demonstrating Budget, Big Data Augmented Dataset Generation Tool for the problem software traceability. Automated traceability techniques use advanced data mining methods to automatically trace and connect different software artifacts which are conceptually similar. These links help developers perform their activities, such as compliance checking, verification and validation, and architectural analysis. For example, a developer could use these trace links to understand which code artifacts implement architectural tactics for achieving quality attributes, such as performance, availability, and security. The current state-of-the-art of automated traceability research relies on supervised and semi-supervised machine learning algorithms to automatically create trace links. Such algorithms need that training sets are manually collected for training the classifier. The main problem of manually collecting training data is that it is a time-consuming task and it needs to be done by high-skilled individuals in order to gather high-quality samples. To overcome this problem, we developed Budget, an online tool for automatically generating task-related training sets for researchers. Our goal is to reduce the upfront costs associated with manually creating training samples. Budget is available in the following link: design.se.rit.edu/budget. In this web page, there are some generation parameters that the user should specify before generating the datasets. The first parameter is the approach to use when gathering the data. These two approaches are mining technical libraries and big data analysis. After selecting the approach, the researcher can choose one tactic of interest among about 10 options available in this combo box. For the chosen tactic, Budget can generate both positive and negative samples. The positive samples are related to a tactic and could be code snippets retrieved from a project or text content of web pages. The negative samples are non-tactic related code snippets retrieved from the same project or websites. The generated dataset can be balanced or unbalanced, and the size of the dataset is indicated in the text fields right below the sampling option. For example, let's generate some samples using the web mining approach. For that, we first select this checkbox respective to mining technical libraries. This first approach here, we extract samples by performing advanced search and filtering over technical libraries. These technical libraries can be defined by the user as a list of URLs. Let's add to this list the Stack Overflow website. Then, we select one tactic from here, for example, Kerberos. Now, we can select a sampling option, for instance, unbalanced, and indicate that we want 20 positive samples and 10 negative samples. Finally, we can request the data to be generated by clicking the Generate button. In the next web page, Budget shows a progress bar indicating how much data has been collected so far. After some period of time, our 20 samples are available as a zip file. In this zip file, we can see that there is one folder named Web Page, which has two subfolders, positives and negatives. In the negatives folder, we have textual files, but they are not related to the tactic. In the positives folder, there are text files which contains the content of web pages related to the Kerberos tactic. This file, for example, describes how to implement the Kerberos tactic. Now we can go back and use the big data analysis approach to collect code snippets that implement a particular architectural tactic. For that, we mark this checkbox. As we see here, we also need to specify other generation parameters when using this approach. In the first parameter, the user indicates the programming language of the source codes in the generated dataset. This can be done through selecting any of these languages available here. The next parameter is the sampling strategy. Currently, we have three strategies for sampling the repositories: best case, stratified sampling, and random sampling. For instance, let's use the best case strategy. Note that right below, we can also select specific repositories to retrieve code samples. I'm not selecting any project, therefore Budget will search for tactic-related code in all 100,000 open source repositories. Again, we select one tactic from the combo box, for example, heartbeat. Now we choose the sampling option and indicate the size of 15 samples. Again, we click on this button to generate the datasets. This zip file has code snippets that implement heartbeat in the positives folder. For instance, in this code, we have a Java class that uses heartbeat for detecting the failure of a connection.